funny. Hey, what's happening to you guys? Pyros here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be having a very interesting discussion. I think it's a discussion that we need to actually have. So as you guys know, Blizzard is under hot waters, especially for what they've done to Blitzchung. So I'm going to give you guys a really quick summary. So Blitzchung is a Hong Kong Hearthstone player. He went on a live stream, said liberate all Hong Kong. Blizzard in turn had to kind of ban him for 1 year, took away his prize money, and essentially told him to piss off. This made everyone extremely angry because it came as if China has influenced Blizzard to essentially shut down any sign of freedom of speech, which also makes Blizzard look kind of hypocritical because Blizzard is all about, people have their freedom of speech, they can voice their opinions, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. Now, I've made 2 videos and a blog, 2 blogs I think, talking about how Blizzard bowed to China, how what they've done is literally accepting that an outside influence can come in and shut down their freedom of speech and expression, because I'm personally all about freedom of speech and expression. I don't like the idea of censorship. I don't like the idea of people telling you what you can and can't say. I'm all about saying what you want to say, but obviously being ready for the consequences that come afterwards. You can't just go out here and just say some risky stuff. You need to be able to say it, back it up with some facts, and just, yeah. But I've been thinking about the whole Blizzard situation again, and I'm going to look at this from a business perspective, because I was looking at this from a civilian perspective, because yeah, what Blizzard did was fucked up and it made them seem like greedy people. But when you look at this from a business perspective, you got to understand that Blizzard actually had no choice. Their hands were tied the moment Blitzchung opened his mouth. I'll put it in this perspective. Blizzard, and to an extent Activision, has spent years upon years trying to get into the Chinese market, because the Chinese are very tight. They don't want anything getting in, but they can also want stuff getting out. It's a complicated stuff. Like, China is very controlling with what is allowed to get into their culture, into their civilization, whatever the case may be. They spend years upon years, have invested millions of money to build an infrastructure and an alliance between, Blizzard and China. And this isn't just Blizzard. Like, every business has tried their best to try and get into the Chinese market. So let me put it to you in this way. So let's say you have a job, right? And this is the most high paying job you can ever get within the area that you're in right now. Leaving this job would mean leaving a very high paying job, and you can never find another job like this anywhere. Now you're working at this job and you have a boss that's pretty fucking shitty, and you want to just go up there and tell him exactly how shitty he is, and you're speaking facts. Like, everything that you're about to say is pure fact, but you're risking a chance of being fired. And not only that, you also have to leave a job that's paying extremely well, and you also have bills to pay, expenses, possible liabilities that might show up at any given point. It's a risky move. Now, do you just zip your mouth and just deal with the bullshit, or do you speak out and express your thoughts and opinion, but risk losing everything? That's the situation that Blizzard was in. From a business perspective, Blizzard actually did the right thing. They had to make a quick move because they know how the Chinese can react. Look at the NBA, for example. One of the guys from the NBA, teams or whatever, tweeted out something in regards to Hong Kong. Now, China was ready and willing to cut all ties with NBA at that given point. Keep in mind that the NBA and China have had a really long history together. So they didn't care about the history, they didn't care about the friendship, any of that bullshit. They just were ready to cut them off. So this is the type of position that a lot of these businesses are at. They spend so much money and so much time, so much research, so much all that investment trying to get into this market. Do you really think they're gonna risk it all for just one guy, one pro player? It's almost asinine for some of them to even think about this. So here's what I've said in my previous video. Now I said this as well in my first video, that Blizzard handled the situation really badly. They could still punish the guy, because technically they do have a policy, a terms and condition that says that if an action taken by anybody within this Blizzard spectrum would cause them to to lose a lot of money or would cause damage to the business, they have a right to take action to see whatever sees fit. But I think what caused this whole thing to just backfire is that they decided to essentially ban the guy for 1 year and take away 4 years of tournament prize money away from him, which is the worst thing that you could possibly do. If they have just done 1 month ban and still let him keep his tournament money, no one would have even batted an eye. I mean, yeah, so okay, the gaming community would have said some shit, but I feel like it wouldn't have gotten to an international standard the way it did recently. So I think from a business perspective that Blizzard actually had no choice. They had to do what they had to do to protect their investment, is what a business would do. It's shitty to admit this, but at the end of the day, money makes the world go round, and if they have decided to kind of leave one of the biggest gaming market ever to support one guy's opinion about a current situation that has nothing to do with Blizzard, that would have cost them millions, probably even billions. It's not a wise decision. I think, looking at it from a business perspective, and I know people want to use emotion and obviously the moral compass starts to get into play with what's right and what's wrong, but at the end of the day, Blizzard did the right thing. Blitzchung chose the wrong moment to express his political opinion. I know there's a situation of democracy going on. Hong Kong could lose that democracy at this point, but still, Blitzchung chose the wrong timing to express his opinion. He didn't use the right platform, essentially, and this has actually caused a spiral situation. Now, other gaming companies like Riot Games, the people who obviously own League of Legends, have now sent statements out to all their players saying that whenever they're at a tournament now, they are not allowed to express any political opinions. So that means you can't wear any clothing that expresses political opinions. You can't do anything. You can't even do this now, because if you do this used to be the okay sign. Now white people own it. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, whatever. I'm just joking. But no, like, I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. And I know what I'm saying right now will piss off a lot of people. Like, just look at my previous video. I was very against the idea of them shutting down freedom of speech, because obviously as Westerners, we value that. The ability to express your thoughts and opinion is very pivotal. It's very important to us, essentially. But at the end of the day, if I'm just being realistically real with you guys, I think Blizzard did the only option that they had. It wasn't whether it was right or wrong. It was the only option that Blizzard had at that point, and they had to act quickly, because if they didn't, China would have cut them off. They don't waste any time, and that's the leverage that China has. China has the ability to make those decisions happen. So that's why you have Apple, Amazon. I think Amazon bowed at some point. Well, not Amazon, but you have Apple, you have NBA, you have all these people bowing to them. Ignore what South Park's company said. They're all about the whole, jokes and stuff like that. But realistically, I don't think Blizzard had any choice at this point. They had to make the decision. So BlitzCon is going to be very interesting. There's going to be a lot of people who are thinking more of a civilian point of view and not as a business person. They're gonna go in full of emotions, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's just my thoughts and opinion on it after looking at this from both perspectives, because that's what I like to do. I like to look at things from both people's perspective, and now that I think about it, yeah, I don't think Blizzard had a choice. It's a shitty thing. I still stand by that Blizzard handled this really badly. 1 year ban and taking away 4 years of tournament prizes. That's a little bit of an extreme situation, but they could still ban the guy. They still had the right to ban the person if they wanted to, but I think they went overboard, and that overboard drew too much attention to them. It drew the gaming community's attention. It drew actual senators, politicians, news websites. It drew way too much, attention. And obviously, people are using this to continue to use the rhetoric that China is making these companies bend the knee, but. So, yeah, it is true that they are bowing to China because they want to make that profit, but at the same time, that's what a business is for. Business is all about making money, and as long as they're making the money ethically, which is debatable. But as fucking hell, I'm tired. As long as they're making the money ethically, can you really fault them? I'm just throwing that out there. Let me know what you guys think. I'm Pyros, and I'll catch you guys